Hello and welcome to this week's Friday Focus, where I'm joined by Colin Mackey. Thank you very much, Colin, for stepping in. Unfortunately, Graham's still unwell, but hopefully we'll see him next week. But it's great to have you, Colin. A really tough night for the Devils on their opening night. The final score: Armadale Devils 38, Berwick Bullets 52. I think from Heat 2, the result was probably never really in doubt, but a hard night for Armadale on the first night.
Definitely a hard night for Armadale on the first night, but again, they're all rusty, with the long close season. Some of these guys haven't probably ridden for almost 6 months, and it makes it hard. Although both teams, I suppose, are similar. They haven't been riding, but I think more up here in the north you tend to ride less in the winter than you do down south. So yeah, it was a tough meeting to open with. The Bullets looked sharp. The Devils, again, as I said, they've got time to turn it around now. So all in all, I suppose I suspected that Berwick would win, maybe not by so much, but after watching the racing on track, there was a lot of points could have gone either way. There's a lot of good racing tonight from both sides.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was for first night. It was a great night, as you see. Maybe a couple of nerves and setups. Probably nowhere near where the guys will need them to be. That's one of the things they're learning by getting to compete at this level and getting to be in full meeting starting at 7:30. So it's great to have the Devils back on track and and good experience. And as you said, some fantastic races. The battles between Bickley and Lawson, and then even earlier on Woolley and Kyle as well, and Greg Blair looking very happy when he wins races.
Yeah, indeed he did. But even some of the battles for the third spot, we had a couple of ding-dong battle between Lewis Miller and Kieran Douglas. So you had two separate races going on within the same one, and that's what was making it entertaining. And you wouldn't have seen it all on the screen because we're maybe covering, they were so far apart, you'd be watching the race for first and second, but there was an equally entertaining battle for third and fourth, and that's the thing, and it could have gone either way with some of these odd points that could have made a difference.
Yes, no, definitely, and I think, and when it came down to Berwick, were just that little bit more. And as you say, there was a few times where actually Armadale guys had come from the back in the middle of the races, and the Berwick guys turned on and come back again. But it's, as you say, it's all about learning and a great opportunity for the guys. Great to see Willie Lawson back there, Danny Phillips trying hard at number one, and Tom Woolley with 3 wins as well. They'll be quite happy with the top end of the team.
Yeah, the Devils' top end of the team was really good, held it together. The bottom end struggled a wee bit. Josh Embleton should be quite happy with his debut. I think it was 3+1 for his 4 rides, and he slipped off in one. So he should be quite happy. George Rothery, he was unfortunate. He had an exclusion in his first ride, which could have gone, another of those decisions could have gone either way. He was leading the heat, but he locked up. He did impede Greg Blair, to be fair, but some referees would have given it another way. So if that had been a 5-1 to the Devils, that might have driven them on to better things. As it was, it ended up a 3-all.
Yeah, that would have levelled up at Heat 3, and you never know, because scores can sometimes have big impacts on the matches. But yeah, it's a tough decision. Probably correct, but at this level it's very, very tough. So I think George was unlucky, and he's unlucky later on when he's in point score position and he locks up. And as you say, I thought Josh Embleton probably deserved a few more points. Really unlucky. I'm not sure what the problem was in his last race. I know his mechanic was sprinting out trying to warn him of something just before the start of the race, and unfortunately it did come off on the second bend, but he cleared the track and allowed his teammate to win the race.
Yeah, he did, and as I said, he was unfortunate. But then again, looking at the Bullet side, you've got to have a look at Ace Piper, who could very easily have been a Devil, but has gone to Berwick, and his Heat 2 win was sensational, and I was really curious to see how he would go, and I was very impressed, and there's a big future ahead for him. Yeah,
he looked very, very fast, and then from that Heat 2 onwards it was always going to be a tough night, and both Berwick reserves looked well. And Alan Brzezinski himself talks about Ace Piper in his interview, and we spoke to him a bit earlier on about a hard night for the Devils. Brzezinski, the Devils team manager, difficult night for tonight. Open night's always hard, but against a strong team like the Bullets, it was never going to be easy.
Yeah, they had some very strong heat leaders. We had 2 of our own. Willie Lawson gave an exhibition, I think. Kyle Bickley was just as good, but not quite as good as Willie. There was a lot of first match nerves tonight with the younger ones, the less experienced. Not singling anybody out, but I've got a single Gregor out. The difference between his first race and his last race was completely different. Lewis, I'm talking about the reserves. Lewis had a couple of moments where he was really riding strong, and then a couple of silly mistakes. Josh Embleton forgot to put his fuel on in one race. You know, these are all the sort of cobwebs that have to be blown away for a first match. On the whole, I think we were holding them quite well, and just for a few silly mistakes, it would have been a lot closer than it was. So you've got to take some positives out of tonight anyway.
Yeah, you're looking down the Berwick team and there isn't any weaknesses. You're thinking maybe Heat 2, young Ace has not been in it. But he was fantastic tonight, to be fair, and it was always going to be hard after that. But as you say, the boys dug in. Riders got better as the night gone on, and there's some great races from Willie and also Tom as well.
Tom was amazing. A different one to the end of last season. You know, it was really good. Danny had a couple of issues that he wasn't very happy with, but we'll get better, and I'm sure we'll be a lot better next week at Berwick. Mentioning Ace, I think I was expecting that, to be honest, with his dad. His dad's been telling me all along how well he's been riding. I think they were down at Scunthorpe a few weeks ago, and Ace was pushing his dad. So I expected him to be like that. You know, good young lad, a lot of prospect there.
No, excellent, and that's what it's all about. You know, the academy boys are out on track right now, trying to build riders for the future. Give the young lads like your two boys, your grandsons, the chance to properly develop. And this is opening night of the season. If you're going to have a bad night, have it now, because you've got the rest of the season to make up for it.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that now that they've got their collywobbles out, then we'll go from strength to strength. There's a lot of potential, I'm sure, for the season to come.
Yeah. Cool. And as you say, a tough trip to Berwick next week, so won't get much harder than that this year. But you go and you give it your all, and learn every week.
Yeah, Berwick's a very fast track, but they've all ridden it, so there's no excuses for that. We've just got to do the best we can, and hopefully the silly mistakes that were made tonight won't happen next week.
Thank you very much, Alan, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Yeah, as we said, Alan there raving about Ace talking about nearly beating his dad in a practice session, so who knows what that means. Maybe we'll end up with Ace in the championship before the season's out, but it's all about learning, and Berwick solid 1-7 all the way through. I mean, even Gary's taking it so seriously, he's put Ace in Heat 12 when there probably isn't any need, just to make sure, because that was probably the one race where maybe Devils could have got something back and give themselves some momentum for the end of the race. And once it was won, he was able to put Mason Watson back in Heat 14, so a perfect night for him.
Yeah, I mean, Berwick were very, very strong throughout. They looked like a well-balanced side, and although they're not a lot of experience, they've been around a while. Greg Blair, Luke Crang, they haven't been riding consistently, and they've been out a long time, but as has Devils Willie Lawson, he took a spell out of the sport. But no, they're very good. Kyle Bickley is obviously an ideal number one to have. At this level, he's one of your more experienced riders now. He's consistently riding, not just in the UK, but abroad as well. So his experience is brilliant. So the youngsters within the ability side, they've got people they can turn to who've been through it all before, and keep them right, guide them. As you said, Ace Piper's got his dad alongside. What more experience can you want than to have Tio? And that's it. They've got a good balance set up, good background. Kevin Little's there, Gary Flint, Scott Courtney was here again tonight as well. So the experience around the Berwick team is significant, and that's what's going to lead them on to bigger things, I think.
Yeah, and one of the things I keep stressing is it's just fantastic to have two teams in, well, I know Berwick's not quite Scotland, but in that National League level, and from where we were 3 years ago. I know we've had COVID and things like that, and the Devils set up before COVID were going to set up this team, and then it's caught on, and Berwick have certainly pulled that. They've totally grabbed hold of this and going from what they're building at Duns, and it looks like they had a good season last year, looking to kick on again, and Gary Flint was quite pleased with that tonight, and we spoke to him earlier on as well. Gary Flint, a massive win for the Bullets tonight, a great start to the season, and just what you're after.
Yeah, that's it. We were keen to start the season with a bang, and I think we knew that the second strings and the reserves were going to be key, so that's where we targeted, and the boys done the job, and we've come out with a big win, so over the moon with that.
Yeah, solid all the way through, as you said, and the writing was probably on the wall from Heat 2, and what a performance from actually both your reserves.
Yeah, that's it. Both the boys are pretty confident on the bike. I know Ace maybe had a few nerves before the first race, but he put that straight to bed, didn't he? He looked like he'd been riding for years, especially in that Heat 4 to do what he done to avoid a crash in the first corner. So hats off to him, and Mason just kept plugging away and doing what he needed to do. But we chat in between every grading break, and the boys knew that all they had to do was stay calm and just capitalise on mistakes, and we'd be where we were at the end of the meetings. Yeah, and the top end certainly not letting you down either. A couple of key wins, and when they really needed to, they did push on, and a couple of times you got past, and they pushed on, got the points back, and I think it was maybe 2 last places all night. Can't ask for more than that. No, that's it, exactly. If you don't get last places, you'll at least draw a meeting, and that's exactly what happened. But the boys, once they got their first rides out the way, you can tell that they've been around for quite a while, and they raced with their experienced heads. So we're over the moon, and we'll go into tomorrow looking to do the same kind of thing. Yeah, that's it again. So your match again tomorrow. Then you've got the Devils again next week. So looking for put a big marker on the table earlier on and go a wee bit higher than last year. Well, yeah, I mean, Christ, we say all along the boys' development's the key, but they're that infectious, they want to win, so that then brushes off to us as the management, and yeah, if we can make a big start and then kind of get one foot in them playoffs come September time, it'll be quite exciting for them. Excellent, well done, Gary, and thanks for taking the time. Cheers. So Gary there looking very pleased with his night's work, and looking forward to the season.
Yeah, they will be. They've got Oxford, I think it is, tomorrow night down at Berwick. Again, that'll be an entertaining match. Oxford back in Speedway, not just Northern Development League, and it's very strange that their opening meeting's probably as far away as they could get from Oxford up at Berwick. But no, it's the National Development League. It's looking good. Teams from the north to the south, as you just said, the 2 northern clubs, right down to Kent, Plymouth. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, last year when Newcastle and Eastbourne unfortunately pulled out, it was looking a bit bleak again, but suddenly a good winter, looked fantastic, and it's brilliant to fill the calendar. Every Friday night there'll be Speedway at Armadale, whether it's the Devils or the Monarchs or whatever else happens later in the season. It fills every Friday, and maybe tonight on top of this tower in the freezing cold conditions it doesn't feel ideal, but for me it's just happy to be back and seeing Speedway racing again.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's great to see it, and at this level the racing is very exciting, and there's a lot of passing goes on at all levels, but at this level it's particularly good. But as we're saying, Speedway all the time, but the main benefit is for the clubs to bring on their own riders. You're not going to have to import riders. If you can unearth these gems on your own doorstep, what more can you ask for? I mean, that is really what you're looking for a club, is to establish itself, bringing on their own riders. And being Scottish, I'd love to see an all-Scottish team back on track.
100% agree with you there. Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Let's hope that happens in the future. But as you say, tonight some fantastic racing. Sometimes in 2 races in one, and as you say, a bit separated. But it's always good to see overtaking some exciting racing with lots to choose from. We struggled to pick the race tonight. In the end, went for a Heat 5 because a fantastic race with Tom Woolley and Kyle Bickley, looking like Tom was getting the better, but Kyle pulled out again, and George Rothery battling away against Kieran Douglas. A great race. Here was Heat 5.
So into heat number 5, Tom Woolley is on gate 1. He won his opening race. Gate 2 is Kieran Douglas. Gate 3, George Rothery, and Kyle Bickley comes from gate 4. And Tom Woolley's made the start. Kyle Blickley trying to line him up. Tom's a cunning sort of rider.
Good battle for the third spot going on as well, Mike. Between
So
Kieran Douglas and George Roderick.
Yeah. Douglas in third. Bickley trying to get some momentum up on the wide line to catch Tom Woolley. And here he comes hard down the inside and he's through. Just too much for Tom there. Tom coming back though. And Tom has got him back. Superb corner there by Woolley. I think
That's a
Bickley
ding-dong
will do the
battle
same
now.
again here. Bickley maybe through this time. Terrific battle there. So Kyle Bickley gets his second win, but he really had to work for that one against a very crafty and tenacious Tom Woolley. The third place went to Kieran Douglas and George Rother at the back that time, so points added to the Bullets lead. Very good race though.
It's a fantastic race there, Colin. That's what I want to see every week.
Yeah, that's it. That's what the people want to come and watch. That it's exciting. It gets people talking. They go away tonight and say, "Yeah, that was a great race." That, and when they start telling their friends, and anybody who's here for the first time tonight goes back and tells their friends, that's what you want. You want people to talk about it. That's what Speedway's all about. People leaving the track and talking about what happened on track. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it sets us up nicely. It's nice. I was going to say a warm start to the season. It's certainly not warm. Sorry to go about the cold again, but you know it sets us up nicely. The Devils are on their way. I'm sure they'll have lots of things they'll try and prove on. But as I said to Alan Budzinski, you've got to have a bad night, make it your first night, and push on through. Lots of things to learn and go from there. And of course next week we've got a massive weekend with the Monarchs back on track. With welcoming the Bandits here, then of course the Bullets go back to us, and the Devils go down to visit the Bullets. That's going to be a tough night for them.
Yeah, that is going to be. But I mean, it's like the battle of the big brothers here next Friday night, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that was round one, and round two comes next week. But the Devils travelling away, big track, but it's there. It's there to be ridden, and as I said, this league's unpredictable. There's no reason why they can't go down there and give the Bullets a fright.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of time. I mean, we saw how good George went in some parts last year, and hopefully the boys will pick up. And if Willie Lawson goes like that, as he was in Heat 13 and Heat 15 tonight, we know we're going to get some good racing and some good scores for the Devils. So it's good to see Willie back in scoring form.
Yeah, I think Willie obviously got a point to prove to a certain extent. He wants to prove that he's still a championship rider, and to do that he wants to get on track, score the point and say, look, I'm here and I can do the job, and he certainly did it tonight. Definitely.
Thank you very much, Colin, for joining us tonight on Friday Focus. Unfortunately, it was a loss for the Armadale Devils. Final score again, Armadale Devils 38, Berwick Bullets 52. But Speedway's on its way. Friday night Speedway's back. And we'll hope to see as many as possible next week when it's the Monarchs and the Bandits. And bring on.
Let's hope it's a bit warmer.
Good night.